Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Chef Matt is finally making his comeback to the YouTube specials. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for our very first episode of YouTube, we are going to be making a lunch. Now, a lot of people have been saying, Matt, why do you always do all the same dishes you always do and repeat them all the time, such as burgers and breakfast? But you know what? We haven't really done too many lunch specials other than a wrap. So today, we're going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to make some chicken. But we're not just going to make any kind of chicken. We're going to make some fried chicken. But since we don't have a good deep fryer and some good batter for some good deep fried chicken like you get at the store, today we're going to make some pan fried chicken. So, here we go. So, as of every single Chef Matt that we've ever done, I'm going to show you all the ingredients that you're going to need to make the perfect pan fried chicken. So, here we go. If you're going to make some pan fried chicken, obviously you're going to need some chicken. Ooh, look at that breast. That looks good. And we're going to need a little bit of a binder. So we need some egg. I already got an egg right here. I just beat it up a little bit inside a plate. We're going to need a little bit of flour. And we're going to need your favorite type of breadcrumbs. This is an optional part of whatever kind you want. I mean, it's kind of required if you want to make some pretty crispy fried chicken. But you can use whatever kind of breadcrumbs you want. For this one, we're using the panko breadcrumbs. The last thing you're going to need is we're going to fry it up. You're going to need to get a little bit of a little pan and some oil. Now, if your chicken breast is a little bit big and you don't want to eat the entire thing, don't worry. You can always cut it in half. I don't think I'll be cutting this one in half because I can make this work. I can just flatten it out a little bit. It'll just be a little bit wider, but it'll be the same amount of chicken. But you can always have the option to cut it in half, and you can actually make two fried chickens out of the same breast. So, that's an optional part of Chef Matt. Remember, the awesome thing about Chef Matt is he gives you options of what you want to do, and you can choose whichever route you want to take. Now, before we get into the actual cooking process of this, I should give everyone a warning. Now, chicken is one of the types of meats that you're going to want to wash your hands after you touch it. And obviously, if you want good chicken, you're going to want to wash your hands even before it too. But after you touch chicken, you should always wash your hands. So, just keep that in mind before we get started. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to contradict what I said earlier. You still do want to wash your hands. But what I said earlier is with this chicken being a little bit bigger, I could just flatten it out. I'm actually going to want to cut this in half because this chicken's a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. So, I'm not going to be able to videotape me cutting it in half because I need two hands to be able to do that. But, just take your time. Don't make it too uneven. Try and cut it perfectly down the middle, lengthwise. So, let's do this. I'll do a video after I'm done to see what it looks like. Alright, so I was able to do this with only touching the chicken with one hand, so I'm able to still videotape this while my hand is still clean. Although I'm still going to wash both hands afterwards, just to be on the safe side, and I'll even wash off the camera too to be on the safe side. But, we just finished cutting up our chicken, and here's what it looks like. See, we cut it down lengthwise, and it looks pretty good. We got a nice piece of chicken, and we still have another half of it there. Now, this was in the fridge. I'm really hoping my mom didn't need it for anything because now she won't use it. And now it's my lunch. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I just got back from washing up my hands. Now what you're going to do next is take out your meat tenderizer. Now a meat tenderizer normally has two different sides, the flat end and the spiky end. We're going to use the spiky end so it actually tenderizes the meat. So here comes the fun part. And this is my favorite part for sure. So here we go. Now don't forget to flip it over once you get the whole one side done. You want to get both sides. Now after you got both sides all pounded down with your meat mallet, that's what I like to call it, what we're going to do is something I like to do is I like to give it a nice little hit with the smooth side to finish it off. Now we're not going too hard with this, we're just giving it a nice little tap, where if you look closely you can still see all of those little indentations from the spiky side. I'm going to pick it up. Alright, and that should be good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now that we got our entire chicken pounded down, we're going to come over to our burners. You're going to turn on your stove very light, maybe about halfway, a little bit under halfway. You're going to take your oil, and you're going to put in just a little bit, enough to where it would fry it up really nice. Maybe that's about good, and you just mix it around in there and let it heat up. Now, remember, you're going to put that oil on low to medium heat, because right now we're going to come back to our chicken and we're going to get it all breaded up and ready to go for frying. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to need 2 hands for this one, because I want to make sure I get a nice even coat. But I'm going to go over the directions before I even do it, just so you're not confused and you know what's the scoop. So, once you grab your chicken, we're going to go flour first, we're going to go egg next, then we're going to go to our breadcrumbs. You're going to do one side of the chicken, flip it over, and do the other side, and that's going to go for each and every one of these steps. Remember, flour first, then your egg bath, and then your breadcrumbs. You want a nice even coating of your egg on there, so then a lot of your breadcrumbs will stick and they'll fry up really nice. So, as usual, I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I just finished up breading our entire chicken, and I washed my hands after I was done with it, so I made sure I wasn't spreading salmonella or any other disease that this chicken might carry. But here's what the final product looks like. We have a nice even coating of the breadcrumbs on there. I did the flour first, I did the egg wash next, and then I went to the breadcrumbs. In fact, I might even get a little bit of extra breadcrumbs, because it's a little bit thin in a couple of places, but it's going to be great either way. There we go. And now we are ready to pan fry it. So, we've had our oil heating up here for about 5 minutes or so. We're going to turn our heat up just a little bit more, just so it's ready to go when we fry it up. In about 2 minutes or so, we'll put that right in the fryer, and we'll continue with Chef Matt right before we put it in. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I just felt my hand over top of the oil, and it seems like it's heated up pretty good. So, what you're going to do next is, if you don't want to get your hands all dirty again and have to wash them up, you're going to grab some tongs. You're going to bring your chicken over towards the pan. You're going to pick it up, preferably on the thicker end if you have a thicker and thinner end. So, I'm going to put it right in there. Now, we're going to just let this cook. Now, a major Chef Matt key to success is, just like how when raw chicken is very susceptible to spreading around a lot of diseases because of salmonella or other things that the chicken might have carried, you want to make sure that your chicken is fully cooked. Now, you can use a thermometer, or you can just judge by when it gets crispy, and when it's not crispy and you want it more cooked or less cooked. That's all up to you in the end. But you want to make sure that your chicken is fully cooked. Undercooked chicken is just as dangerous as the raw chicken when you're just touching it alone. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the chicken's been cooking on this side for roughly about a minute, and it's starting to splatter a little bit, so we're about to flip it. Ooh, look at that. Dang. Look at that crispiness. Now that is how Chef Matt does it. Now while our chicken is cooking, what you can do, for when it's actually done, you can get prepared. So, what we're going to need is, we're going to need a plate and some paper towels, or you can use napkins, because our paper towels are empty right now. I'm going to have to go downstairs and fill them up. But, what you do is you grab a napkin or paper towel and a plate, and you just put them right on top of it, so when it is done, you set the chicken right on there, and we'll get as much of the grease drained out of there as possible. So we're going to want to start flipping this chicken again because it's starting to splatter. You're going to want to turn it roughly about every minute or so. And we want to ensure that it's cooked still. Here comes flip number 5, ladies and gentlemen. Well, our chicken ripped a little bit, but that's still okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, once your chicken's starting to look just like this, and you flipped it around 5 or 6 times, remember, about a minute or 2 on each side, it looks like it's about done. This will be the last flip right here. I'm going to let it sit for another minute or 2, and then we'll pull it off. Everything seems like it's becoming really firm. Chicken feels like it's really cooked. We're ready to rock and roll. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I just finally pulled off our chicken. Like I stated earlier, when you get prepped, get your plate ready with some napkins or paper towels. Put it right on top of there, because as you can see, there's a lot of grease draining off of it, which is exactly what we want. But you're going to turn off your burner. You're going to grab your pan. You don't want to put it right in the sink. You want to let that cool down a little bit so it doesn't warp it out. But your tongs, just go right in there. We're going to let this cool down a little bit, and we're getting ready to serve it. Bite number 1. Camera battery died as I was taking bite number 1, but all in all, the chicken is really good, nice and crispy. The panko breadcrumbs that I put on there give it a nice little taste on there. Good crunch on there. It's not burned or anything, so that's always a plus. Both sides are perfectly golden brown. All in all, for the very first episode of YouTube for Chef Matt, this is a pretty big success. So, we'll see if we can go bigger and better later on, but I'm going to have to decide what that is later on. So, leave in the comments what you want me to make for the next Chef Matt, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully YouTube will be as big of a success as Snapchat was. If it's not, we could go back to Snapchat in the end, but I'm hoping not. Because everyone voted for YouTube, the majority rules were on YouTube. So, have a great day. Join us next time on Chef Matt, and of course, Chef on.